Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, and welcome to Work Trends with Meghan M. Biro. Whether you're here to network, learn, or share, we want you to have fun. During this live broadcast and Twitter chat, we'll discuss the future of work with smart and entertaining guests who value today's business and its impact on the world of work for the future. Stay tuned, because we start in 3, 2, 1.
Can you guys hear that? I'm clapping. Isn't that cool? I am so excited to be here. Welcome to another informative talent culture work trends live podcast and Twitter chat. So excited. It's still summer here in Cambridge, Mass. I can't believe it. I don't know what's happening to us, but I'm really enjoying the weather over here. And, you know, I've got wellness on my mind. There's no question. Anybody who's been following me over on the Instagram, and if you're not, hint, you know where to find me at Meghan M. Biro there, as well as the Twitters, of course. Would love to invite you to engage. And I've been really getting into yoga, and I want to kind of unfold that with you all. I've got this burning desire to unfold yoga with everybody today for some reason. And, you know, honestly, I want to take a little bit of time. I want to thank our sponsors, and I want to thank today's sponsor in particular, Staples Business Advantage, as well as the core team over at Staples. I've really enjoyed working with this team. We've got everybody here today, and we're talking wellness, people, health and wellness, and that is extending far beyond preventing those icky germs in the office, right, during cold and flu season, which I'm like refusing to even talk about now because, again, it's summer here still, right? So this is a combination, though, I think, and I want to hear from our guests shortly and the rest of you in our community. It's really a combination of keeping your mind, your body, and your mental well-being in good standing to actually be able to live that productivity. And I think it's a lot easier said than done, by the way. Companies are prioritizing general health and wellness more and more because we know what it's all about when we talk about the world of business, right, in the future of work, productivity, and it's still about the business's bottom line. So let's get started with this practical conversation today about how to improve the health and wellness of your workforce, of your body. Let's do this. So let me introduce my special guest, Jenya, she's going to help us pronounce her name because it's just that cool, Adler. And how do we say your first name?
It's Jenya.
Jenya. I love that.
Yes.
It's like so dramatic. I feel like I'm back on stage. Jenya is the director of workplace strategy. I know, right? We love that. We're best friends, by the way, but we'll tell everybody about that later, right?
We go way back.
We go way back. She is the director of workplace strategy for Staples Business Advantage, and she helps businesses explore how they work and how they want to work, even more importantly, by helping clients align their values, their culture, which we love, right, and the nature of their work itself with the physical environment. Jenya is able to positively affect the company's bottom line. So I am so thrilled to have her here and the team at Staples and Staples Business Advantage. Shout outs to all of you. Welcome. So tell us just a little bit more about your background and what brought you to Staples Business Advantage in this role specifically. Very cool stuff.
Oh, thank you. Well, absolutely. So I started way back when in the entertainment industry. And believe it or not, it ties very closely to workplace strategy because back then we were just kind of putting the fun back in dysfunction and trying to really figure out how on earth at age 22 I was going to survive the next, I don't even know how many years, in this type of work environment. So needless to say, I did leave at some point, and I actually went into interior design actually on The Apprentice. And
you're kidding.
Loved it. No, I know. Deep Dark Secrets revealed.
That is so cool. I knew there was a reason why we were new BFFs. Now it's all really coming to light. Oh,
yep.
How cool
Deep
is
Dark
this?
Secrets. Who knew it would be so relevant today? But yes, very much so. So I was involved there and then loved design, loved that part of it, decided to go pursue that in the architecture and design community. And while I was there designing corporate spaces in Manhattan, just became really interested in that interplay between the spaces I was creating and what that was going to mean for the employee experience, and how the two really related, how I could make people want to show up to work every day in a unique way, a space that they were proud to come to and that they felt, okay, if I'm going to spend most of my working hours here, this is a place I want to do it. And so I went and got a master's in organizational psychology and tied it all together.
Nice.
Yeah. I wanted to put.
Go.
I know. I wanted to put the theory behind the practice.
Your eclectic background. Talk about talent and culture coming together, huh? Goodness.
Hopefully, yeah.
Goodness.
No, it's great.
Goodness.
It was really helpful in all of this.
And so, tell us how long you've been at Staples Business Advantage and how you actually found the role there.
It's actually been 2 years now, and believe it or not, I had stepped out of the industry for a little bit, but I always loved it and kept in touch with everyone. And the funny thing is, from when I stepped out in 2011 to when I came back in 2014, I would say even the language around workplace strategy really seemed to form even more. So now what I always thought was interesting actually had a title that I could look up in job searches.
It's a thing. Hey, it's a thing. Have you heard?
It really is.
Yeah. And on the personal front, because I'm a big believer that we bring our whole selves to work every day, by the way.
Yes.
We're no longer, thank goodness, living in silos from, this is my work persona and this is my home persona. You're enjoying motherhood, aren't you? We talked a bit about that. You've got some excitement on the horizon. Tell us just a little bit more about that.
I have a 2.5-year-old, so if anyone's been through potty training, you know that's harder than anything you do in the workplace.
There you go. Boom.
Oh, yes. And then I have one on the way. So he's not coming until the end of January, but so I have 1.5.
Okay. You're not busy enough, by the way.
I know. I'm trying to find hobbies.
Yeah, really. Talk about, finding the blend, right? So tell us some ways specifically you can, this is a learning community, talent culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
We love to learn and share, right? So tell us some ways to improve nutrition in the workplace specifically. How do we make culture, make it more important for everybody?
Absolutely. Yeah, so I think that, one of my favorite slides I ever saw at a conference was the gentleman put up a picture of a moldy bowl of fruit and said, this is not a wellness program. So being very clear that it's not just about offering a couple of apples and oranges, but really looking at your employees and what they need to feel good, to perform well. And that really goes to nutrition. That let's say you're running around crazy. No, I know, none of us have ever had a busy day at work, but let's say you're not able to get out for lunch. Rather than just having junk food from the standard vending machines, offering a different variety of food for your employees goes a really long way, not just for their health, but also telling them they care. Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's this really cool new one. It's called Lean Box, and it's basically a vending machine, but it offers
cool.
It's fresh salads and fresh food and everything like that. So if you're going to grab something, you could actually grab something that you're not going to feel kind of gross eating afterwards. So I think just in that sense, it's really good.
Bored. I'm super bored of vending. Vending machines are so, they bore the death out of me, don't they? I mean, I'm a food person, so I get real excited about, candy. I actually get excited about candy. Don't tell anybody. Shh.
Oh, I won't.
I'm a candy person.
This baby demands milk duds right now.
I balance Twizzlers and yoga. I have issues, but that's okay. That's a whole other podcast.
No, I think that
right?
it's fruit. Twizzlers it's like cherry flavor. It's fruit. It counts.
Oh my God, I love
and
Twizzlers,
I have a
by the
sweet
way.
tooth. Oh, I know, right? I just bought a thing of nibs. Funny you say that. Yes.
Oh, nibbies.
Love them. I know. I've been
I haven't
craving
had them
lately.
forever.
Oh,
Wow.
revisit them. Highly recommend.
Okay. All right, everybody.
Highly.
Let's revisit nibs. And are they on Twitter? Let's find out, by the way. I'm personally a Twizzlers person, but, I'm open to ideas, right?
Oh, yeah, flexibility.
So let me ask you this. I've got a burning question.
Yeah.
Staples happens to be big into break rooms. Why
Huge.
is this, and what's all this hubbub about? What's going on? I'm feeling like break rooms are a little old school, by the way. So help me understand,
Absolutely.
like, how we're making that cool.
So, it's interesting. I actually love break rooms. I always think of it as the kitchen is the heart of the home. Same way that a place where people can gather and eat and everything is really also the heart of the office. But so many times in the past, it's just been about, okay, I'm going to come eat my lunch for half an hour, if that, and leave. So you had these big pieces of real estate that were only being used a couple hours a day. And what I love is that they're becoming much more multifunctional, multi-purpose. So I think companies are really looking at their break room not just as a place to eat, but a place to meet, to work, to have a couple minutes to yourself. So they're so much more multifunctional. So companies are getting more out of their real estate, but also that requires them to really step up their game. Trust me, I love vending machine contents. I have done my damage in those departments. But I think just offering that whole range of coffee and things that make people want to go and gather and kind of drive people towards it it's just huge. And that's something that we really, I think, take a lot of pride in and thrive on, kind of helping people take breaks and restore themselves.
Well, and I don't know, I work with Google when they were a little tiny company that people were just getting to know here in Cambridge, by the way. And I used to spend a lot of time in their cafeteria. And I don't know any of you if you've been to the Google cafeteria in Cambridge, but like you want to hang there. That's like an 8-hour tour. It was hard to get employees actually out of their quote-unquote cafeteria break room because there was sushi and there's pizza that's homemade. I mean, it's just over the top, right? But to your point, it is a place to hang out. And I think they're working in different ways now, right? We're more remote. We're more flexible. So I think companies and brands that actually make this an imperative will make their culture just a little bit more interesting, right? Because we're now choosing between being in the office and working from a home office. And more companies are actually allowing that too, right?
Exactly. And I think one of the things that helps the most with the break room is it creates a sense of community. I saw this at an office that I worked in, that once we created a more inviting kitchen, everybody started coordinating when we were going to take lunch, what we were going to order, what we were going to do that day, and everyone would take a break at the same time and sit, and just it totally changed the culture of the company and for the positive.
Right.
So I think from that standpoint, it's really, it becomes a community center. And I think it's really,
love it.
It's incumbent on leadership to kind of drive the behavior that way, to say it's okay to take a break and it's okay to have a meeting in the break room and to sit there and check your email maybe instead of at your desk. So that flexibility, I think, is really important.
It sure is. And now I'm sort of moving this conversation as I'm thinking about this to benefits, right? If an employer provides benefits like yearly health screenings, flu shots, education on health and wellness, what are the true benefits? And why aren't more brands articulating this to their employees, in your opinion?
It's a funny question in that I think it really brings up a really good point about the fact that I think sometimes employers think that, they could just go to their general practitioner and get a flu shot. We don't need to do something separate for that. We offer benefits and that's that. But just by saying, you know what, we're going to have flu shots available in the office these days, it shows you care. It shows you're trying to value their time so they don't have to go out of their way. And just that you are an active participant in them as a whole person. And I think that's a huge piece of accessibility. And just it goes a really long way to creating a culture of gratitude and of well-being.
Absolutely. Do you think that people identify with the term wellness versus fitness based on your perceptions of the terms? Because it seems to me like wellness is a little bit more hip and happening these days than the old. Remember Jack LaLanne, by the way? I'm getting old school with everybody. Does anyone remember the fitness explosion with Jack LaLanne? I mean, I'm being funny, but it's like, why has wellness become something? And,
I think I still have Jane Fonda tape somewhere.
Right? That's interesting, by the way. Wow, I'm embarrassed.
I know, right? I know. And they're on VHS. I think they're going to be collector's items.
Are they really?
Wow. I know, isn't that amazing?
Okay.
I know, leotards and
That's
tights
super
and
cool.
all. Exactly.
Nice.
well, leg warmers did make a comeback, but that's for a different topic.
Yeah.
So
well,
I
so
think
arm warmers too, by the way. Arm warmers,
yes.
anyone? I think they're kind of nice. Just saying.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I'll get behind it. But about wellness and fitness, I think one of the interesting things is that I think of the term wellness as being much more all-encompassing, more inclusive. I think fitness programs really referring to more physical activity and getting people to get up and move, sometimes like pedometer challenges and things like that, versus a wellness program, which is also about having just kind of different programs, different initiatives that take into account the whole employee. So it could be everything from just encouraging people that, you know what, you're not feeling great. Instead of coming in and getting the rest of the office sick, work from home. We want you to get better, and we don't want you to infect everybody else. So, germs are great, but not for sharing.
Hey, let's all get sick together and become non-productive.
Right? And
that's what everybody wants, really.
It's so,
right?
Yes, exactly. Just what you want is cold and flu season. Like you said, I mean, I'm still in flip-flops today, but it's going to be here before we know it. So
that's the
I
weird
think
part. It happens like that, actually.
Oh, it does. Yeah, we don't always get much fall up here in the Northeast. So in 2 seconds you're in winter. And the truth is, a lot of offices, people are now sitting in closer proximity to each other. So it's even easier.
People.
I know, gross, right?
Humans.
I know,
gosh.
I know, but the truth is, even just putting in wellness stations, and that can be different spots in the office where somebody could grab emergency or Advil tissues and some Purell. Just different places to stop and kind of regroup, shall we say.
Right. Well, do me a favor. I think some of the community here would be interested in learning this. What can you distinct Staples Business Advantage from Staples that we all know as the big old office store? Tell us just a little bit about what your role looks like at Staples Business Advantage, and a little bit more about what that mission is for you all there in your group.
Absolutely. So Staples Business Advantage is the business-to-business side of Staples. I think the Staples that we all think of when we hear that term is really our retail and our .com side. And this is a whole other aspect of our business that is really focused on serving other businesses of pretty much every size. And so I think we offer a lot of services. I work in the contract furniture dealership side of the business, and I'm on the consultative side of what we do. So I come in early in our furniture projects to kind of help people figure out how are they working, how do they want to work, how do we get them there, and how do we really leverage their physical environment to achieve their business goals, to achieve their talent attraction and retention goals. Yeah. Oh, I love it. I really do. So it's been great, and it's been an interesting space.
Absolutely. Give us a day in the life. What does that look like? What types of clients are you working with? What does it really mean to be the Director of Workplace Strategy for Staples Business Advantage?
So I look at it kind of as two prongs. One, I'm working with clients and customers externally and conducting all different types of methodologies, sometimes surveys or focus groups, to help really get the voice of the employee into the project early on. And ultimately that helps move the project along even faster, because we take that information and we develop a strategy that's going to meet their opportunities and their pain points. Because sometimes people will say, we know we haven't touched the space in 15 years. We need to do something, but we don't really know what. Where do we begin? And so workplace strategy is that great beginning point of a project to say, okay, let's take a holistic view at the company and see what's working, what's not, and how are people working now? And if space was not a limitation, how would they work? So a lot of times, for example, somebody might want a collaborative environment, but that looks different to every company. So I think we spend a lot of time trying to find out and really help them define for themselves what all of these terms mean. And that way we're able to deliver a better solution and one that can grow with them. So from that
and how
standpoint,
are you finding out this data? How are you actually engaging employees on this level?
Absolutely. So we work with several partners with a host of different surveys that are really about understanding how the current work environment supports the activities of the employees. And that way we're able to better, focus our interventions. Sometimes we'll hear, we need more meeting space. So the employer might think, okay, great, we'll put in 5 more 15-person conference rooms. But with this information, we're able to dig in and find out, actually, they're looking for places to meet informally and unplanned. And that's really it. So now
is that a trend
adjust their
right
space.
now? I mean,
yes.
is that?
Very much
how
so.
much?
And actually, yeah. So I think a big question right now is not just what type of space people are using or for how often or with how many people, but how they're actually using it. Meaning sometimes you find 2 people sitting in a 15-person conference room, and it turns out that they had maybe a 15-minute call, but they just liked sitting there. So they're still sitting there because they can get work done.
Right.
And now you might decide, well, there's a better way. We could probably offer you a different and better space to do quiet 2-person work and things like that. So it really translates to your real estate portfolio by better understanding how they're working.
That sounds really fancy.
I know,
real estate
right?
portfolio. That
I
sounds fancy.
know.
So what size companies are you tending to work with these days? Do you run the gamut? Is there a specialty?
We really do, and the nice part is we're scalable. So you don't have to be a Fortune 500 company to afford workplace strategy. So we work with companies that are maybe 50 people who just want to get a better understanding of what's happening. Maybe they have aggressive growth plans and they want to know what direction are they going, how do they get their space to kind of catch up to where they are as a business, to companies that could be 1,000+ people that are in need of a restacking and a facelift and just really getting up to speed. Because one thing that's pretty core to our philosophy is we don't want to just plug our clients into trends. I think that can be dangerous.
Okay.
Because
that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's easy to do, by the way.
It's so easy because it's all accessible.
That's the easy road, right?
100%. Especially because the information is so accessible to everyone. So you see things like best places to work, coolest offices, and it's not just in trade magazines anymore.
No.
Yeah.
And then what does that really mean, right?
Exactly.
I think we're kind of getting beyond that at this point.
Tell
me just a little bit about the Staples Business Advantage 2016 Workplace Index. What's that all about? We want to hear, what that is, why it started, and the state of what that is, where it's going.
So I love the index. It's a really, really interesting study that we did. This was our 2nd annual one. And it's a comprehensive study that really involves office workers and business decision makers in the U.S., and it really helps companies meet their recruitment, their retention, their engagement goals. And we look at the work environment from a lot of different angles. And it's a piece that I think provides a lot of hard data to support decisions and help inform the questions and decisions that businesses are faced with now, trying to figure out how do we meet the needs that we have today and ones that might come up in the not-so-distant future. This year's was done in conjunction with Jacob Morgan. He's the author of The Future of Work.
I know Jacob.
Yeah, so,
I know him well.
Yep. So this was a really great piece that the team put together.
And where are we finding this? How do people actually get their hands on it and understand a little bit more about what the results and data look like?
So that is something that whether you have a Staples rep, which hopefully you do, they'll be able to provide it, and also on our Staples Advantage website. I believe it's there.
Nice. So don't you think people in general just want cookies and bagels? I mean, how are we, right? I mean, Don't you think we're kind of wired that way? If we really boil this conversation down, like how do we move that creating a culture of wellness needle to make it more of a thing? Like how are we doing that?
Yeah, I mean, I love cookies and bagels more than
I know it.
I mean, give me a carb any day of the week. I'll be very happy. But the truth is that can sometimes just be a Band-Aid over a bigger issue. So sometimes, let's say, employee engagement wasn't really where you wanted it to be in your last survey. And let's say employees don't feel appreciated. So sometimes people say, okay, let's do Pizza Fridays and, Bagel Mondays and things like that. But unless it's part of a bigger initiative, I think it kind of it rings hollow. I don't think people really feel the authenticity behind it. People don't care
anymore, do they? I feel like people don't. They're kind of over that.
They are. The bagels are stale by noon, and
they're stale by noon.
Yeah.
There's not another. By the way, there's no flavors of cream cheese. Right?
No, and never enough of the flavors of the bagels people like. I won't mention which ones, pumpernickel, that always get left behind.
I know. I feel bad for pumpernickel. Don't you?
I know. Sometimes I feel badly, so I eat it just out of kindness in my heart.
Right. I know. So what companies are doing cool things with snacks and, kind of turning that upside on its head from a branding perspective and making employees go, wow, now that's a cool happening. I'm excited to be in this culture because – do you have some examples?
So I've been to spaces and seen different companies out there, a lot of times in the tech and the marketing sectors, and creative sectors, where they really have created an environment that is not just cool, but it's permissible to use. So, like, there's a beer garden, for example, literally complete with, like, the Homer Simpson quote in neon. Yeah, they had me at that. But people were actually using it, including the leaders. Even if they're not sitting there and having a beer, they're sitting there and talking with their team. And you could just tell by how people were lingering in these areas that it wasn't about slacking. They weren't, not doing their work. They were just either taking it and having it in a different place, getting to know their colleagues differently. And you could tell they weren't racing out of the office at 5 o'clock. They were.
I love that. They were just being present, right? They were being human.
They were engaged.
What a concept! They were engaged, or they were there, and we hope they were engaged.
Exactly. Exactly.
They were not engaged, by the way. We have measurements for that. But at least they're there.
Absenteeism. Absolutely, a big issue where people kind of phone it in, and they just show up, but they're not really doing their work, and that can be actually more detrimental to a company than not having anyone in the position at all. So sure. And
we're down to 2 minutes. Can you believe it?
Oh my gosh.
Time flies when we're having fun. I'm dead serious.
Oh wow.
So,
okay.
I know. There we go. And we're gonna take this conversation. We're gonna continue it over on Twitter. But is the key to cold and flu season just a bunch of Lysol wipes? I mean, what is this? How are we all going to prepare? Because we know we're going to blink our eyes and we're going to be here. And it is going to be an issue. It's an issue every single year. How do we approach that? And how do we keep that top of mind so we keep everybody, germ-free, hopefully? Absolutely.
So I think definitely things like Lysol wipes and stuff are crucial, but they're not the catch-all for it. I think it's looking at the design. We were talking before about how people are sitting closer together. So I think really thinking about encouraging people to work from home if they're not feeling well. And that could be somebody's manager just saying, hey, I noticed you're sneezing and you're not feeling great. Why don't you work from home tomorrow? Why don't you just take care of yourself? It's okay. The world's going to continue to spin. I can almost guarantee it. But this way, people are actually able to recharge themselves. People stay sicker longer when they push themselves too hard and aren't able to really have that recoup time. So I think it's that. It's again, those wellness stations, just having a place to pick up a pack of emergency or something like that where they can go and just take 2 minutes for themselves. Having break wellness rooms where somebody could go and say, you know what, I have a headache. I'm going to go lie down for 20 minutes. And that's okay.
Right, and making that okay. I love it.
Absolutely.
Hey, listen, Jenya Adler, thank you so much today for your time. I hope you're on the mend pretty soon yourself. And
thank you.
You are awesome. I can't wait to meet you in person. Let's take this conversation over to Twitter and keep it moving. Thanks so much to you and the team over there at Staples Business Advantage.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. We'll have to do it again sometime.
Talk soon. Bye.
Sounds good. Bye.